All right, Sam Morril is back, and he is one of the funniest motherfuckers on the planet.
Thank you, man.
You really are. Your new special, I Got This, is out. It's on YouTube, up over 1 million views, and I mean, it should get 10 million more because it is.
I hope, man. Shit, that's the thing. Is like like my mom, my girlfriend, everyone's like, well, it's over 1 million. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna fizzle out. Like I can't enjoy anything. You know,
really
I really can't.
I was just telling him last night. I DM'd you and I was like, singing your praises. And well, actually, we'll explain the situation first because then the DM will make sense. So you put it out on YouTube for free after
it was through Comedy Central's channel. You know,
but was that like? Did they jump on after the fact or?
I went to LA. I ran it for some industry, like, some buyers, and everyone just was like, we're good. I killed. I was in Dynasty Typewriter. Running it went like perfectly. I was like, that was what I wanted.
Yeah.
Then my agent was like, no, we should run it again. It's a really good hour. So I was like, all right. So I went back to LA. I ran it again. Killed just as hard. Everyone was like, no, we're good. So then I was like, well, what do I do? And she's like, I don't know. I was like, so I said, all right, I guess I'm just going to shoot it. And she said, all right. So she seemed on board. She seemed to believe it. When you have an agent who's making zero money off you and you tell her that, it means she believes in it. So,
right.
So
that's the truest, realest opinion you'll ever get. It's like you're not even making money on it. You're not just blowing smoke on my ass.
Yeah.
But so I said to you last night, all these fucking people passed. Obviously, it's killing, and now next time around, you get to gouge the price up. And he just said to me, "Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen."
I really believe that. I think I think that for whatever reason, certain people are just chosen in this business, and they'll get like 100 chances. And then there's people like me and Mark Norman and Joe List, who's some of my good friends, and we just have to prove to the industry we're funny like 500 times before we get one shot for some reason.
What do you think that is? Because that
I think
special
it's
is undeniably funny. Like, is it? Are you just?
Don't
an
give
asshole?
it. I mean, I get how you because I think the same way.
Do
But
it
I mean,
too.
that's fucking. It's
I think
fucking
certain
hilarious.
people are chosen and other people just. I think. I felt this way when I was a young comic. I used to go up at the comic strip on the Upper East Side, and for whatever reason, Joe Mackey and I, that's where we started. They just wouldn't pass us. We would kill. I feel like harder than anybody, and they'd be like, we're not going to pass you. And we'd be like, all right. So we just kept, I think there's certain people that they know will keep showing up, and we were those dudes. But then there's other people that I think some of these networks look at, well, like that's a star. And guys like me and Norman and Joe Mackey and all those guys, we're like club comics. We're like doing
but
the
you're
work.
tall.
I'm tall.
You
You sound like my mom.
that's
Why
like-
aren't you more successful? You're tall.
Dude, height is power, and that's like, I mean, you have it. You're like, you say in the special, like you're trying to put that out there, and like, I'm 6'2".
My mom said that when I was a kid. I told my mom I was depressed, and she's like, "But you're so tall." And I was like, "Yeah, it's not a fucking carnival ride, It's like."
That is unbelievable.
Maybe that's like why when people.
I'm shocked my mother didn't tell me that.
But like maybe I was like
so good.
maybe that's like when people hang themselves. Like you have to go high up. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but
That is so fucking.
she really said that. It was like one of the funny. She feels horrible because she's the smart person. She understands that there's depth to feelings, and it's not about height. But like she really said that. I don't know.
I mean, it's an interesting and like unfortunate thing that is it? Are you just like an asshole when you talk to these people, man? You're gotta be doing something wrong because again, I mean, I keep repeating myself.
No,
but
I think
Every time Sam has a meeting, he jerks off into a man.
yeah, you're doing something. I mean, that shit is if you like stand-up comedy and you get humor. It is truly undeniable.
But I think
There's
a lot of the
nothing you
Netflix
can say.
specials, a lot of them are great comics, and a lot of them are also just actors who they're like, well, this
Yeah,
person's
right,
famous,
right.
So
many of them.
So I think they reserve when you pay Eddie Murphy $80 million for one special, that kind of cuts your $500,000 spots down,
Yeah,
So. Or whatever they were gonna, like I said, like they're gonna pay me that much anyway. But so I think a lot of it is they pick a lot of great comics in Netflix, but a lot of them are reserved for spots like that. And same with HBO. I think HBO kind of was the closest to buying this hour, but they're like a prestige network, and they're like, yeah, but what's your like? They want like something more interesting. And look, they did a great job. I think they picked Rami, who won a Golden Globe. They picked Gary Goldman's, who's amazing.
Yeah,
Dan Soder's a great. I mean, they picked good people. So
right, but like it should just also be you. I mean, I'm not saying that those guys don't deserve it or you should take their spot, but like when you see for everyone you name, there's also 2 or 3 that's like
I know.
Yikes, really? Like
This
you're gonna
also
give that
feels
the
better,
Netflix
though,
stamp?
doesn't? Don't you think? Like,
Well,
like
it feels-
maybe you.
I mean, you're broke, but
you're still eating off a folding chair. But
Yes.
The
Look,
like,
It's a great fuck you. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, it's cool how many comics shared it. That was meaningful.
Yeah.
That like, holy shit, I was like, all these comics I really respected would just post about like multiple times. You know, like
Yeah.
friends of mine, like they wanted to succeed, and I think comics should want it to succeed because it means well for them. It means that they can circumvent the industry, and you don't have to wait for someone to tap you. I mean, I see other comic friends of mine now doing this as well, and you can just make a special. I mean, it's not. People were saying, well, I told like a couple friends of mine who have done Netflix specials. You know, they said, well, how much are you spending on it? And I told them, and they were like, that's not enough for it to look good. And I just said, you know, people will watch a special if the jokes are good.
Doesn't
they
have to look
they
good.
don't need a theater with a fucking crane shot.
Absolutely
What is,
not.
Yeah.
what is with the crane shot in
Yeah,
stand-up
I know.
specials? Like you're watching stand-up, you're like, yeah, but there's no swooping. Like, what
I
is
need
the
more
swooping?
swoop. Give me the swoop. That's
like
so
an
true.
NFL
man.
kickoff. We're like, what's cooler this way?
Exact-
It's cool either
Some
way.
of those,
man.
some of those shots, even in the NBA, where you're like, yeah, we don't need
Just give me
camera.
the fucking side. Yeah, I know what you mean.
No one's watching for a camera on the shot clock. You know what I mean? Like it's
I
it's
actually
excessive.
have is it not with the NBA or the NFL, but with the NHL? Sometimes they'll go with a camera view behind the net, especially like particularly on the power play.
Yeah.
I don't think goals are allowed to happen while it's there. Like it's
Yes.
when if you're on the power play and it goes to that camera shot,
You're not scoring.
Go get a
Yeah.
glass of water.
Yeah.
Like you got time because nothing's gonna happen.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you're talking
But
about.
I mean, especially comedy. It's like, I mean, you can listen to this, not see anything, and it's
you know
gonna
what?
be funny. You know, like
I read the Beastie Boys book, and it was kind of inspiring to me because
big book.
Yeah, it's
Big
great.
book.
It's a great
Good
book.
job. Congrats.
I've never been given credit for reading the Beastie Boys book.
It's big, right? It's a big fucking book,
It's
isn't
big,
it?
but yeah, but they
he's like, it's big, but I know how to read. It took a little bit longer than an average book, but I'm good. I got it.
but they kind of said how no one wanted to make when they made Paul's Boutique, which is their best album. No one wanted to make it. They'd come off their hit, which they kind of didn't like. And I look back at some of my work that I don't like. I mean, you kind of just I think it's natural to look back at any of your stuff and be like, I was a different person then. I
Yeah.
was a different comic.
Well, especially when you hate yourself, which I can tell you now.
but
I
mean,
do feel weird when some people like refuse to apologize for old things, or not even apologize, but be like,
Exactly.
yeah, man, I don't stand by everything I ever said. Like,
well, the problem exactly, and the problem is also that I think when you give that type of person an apology, it opens a door for you to apologize
Yes.
for other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel bad about certain things.
I mean,
I've
my bad.
done.
Like,
Yeah.
that was stupid.
But
we had with the do you know? I don't know how on Twitter you are, but there was the Zola story. Do you know who she is? It was like a Zola stripper who like it was all a made up story. This really incredibly long Twitter thread about like going to Florida and like I don't know. It was crazy.
She met up with like her friends. They like fuck these guys, steal their
Yeah.
drugs. This is wild tale.
And like I remember I had written a headline. This was probably 5-6 years ago, where it was like Zola and her fucking whore friend go down to Florida, and it went re-viral because of the story. Like it got picked up at Sundance or something like that. And people were like, "What was this headline?" I was like, "Yeah, that's aggressive." Like I don't know.
I mean, she was a whore.
I'm
he was factually correct.
I
You're
thought you were gonna say that she wouldn't apologize for that, but you really went the extra mile. Yeah, dude, we've all done stuff like that. I look back at like people have brought up old jokes of mine. I was like, yeah, I was a kid. You know,
do you
I
think that like 5 years from now you're gonna look back at this special and be like, "Ooh, yikes, this, that, and the other thing," or do you think you've reached a point where like you know exactly what you're doing now?
Yeah, I think you always look back at some stuff that you're not crazy about. It's just, I mean, I heard Woody Allen looks back at Manhattan as not. And by the way, there's other stuff you should look back at. And maybe Manhattan isn't the problem. But no, I think everyone looks
He looks
back
back at his
stuff.
wedding like, "Ooh, boy."
I think the problem is that he doesn't look back at his wedding like that. But yeah,
No, I think you look back at everything. Yeah, I think, and also I heard Jim Jeffries once say, he said, the job of a comic is to go right up to the line of good taste, and push it, and every few years that line comes in, so you're naturally going to look back
Yeah.
at things, and I thought that was pretty well put.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You know,
is going back to the Netflix stuff. Like, we've also heard other sides of the story where like Theo Von was like, I got a Netflix special that gave me like $50,000 for it, and like it really did nothing for me. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's obviously you want money for sure.
Yeah.
but I think there might be more value perhaps in this because now it has a story to go with it, and now it becomes a thing versus just like a one-time chunk of cash.
I'm shocked people are talking about it at all. So yeah,
I mean,
as long-
again, you hate yourself. So,
I mean-
and we can definitely relate. But you're very, very.
But it's
talented.
what's-
This is very,
it's-
very funny. So I'm not surprised.
What
at all
is
people talk
every
about it.
comic has that mixed thing? I think that most of us have, where you're like, "Fuck, why did no one buy this?" And also, yeah, and also you're like, no one's gonna give a shit. So you have that ego, but also that you're also hurt a little bit by it.
For
For sure.
I have feelings. I'm a human.
Yeah. So I mean, we do the work on the road. Like there's a lot of great New York comics that people don't know about because we're all on the road. We're all in the clubs every night. In LA, they've gotten a little bit more known because of podcasting out there and how big it is. But in New York, there's so many great club comics, and people should know who they are. Mark Norman, Joe List, Joe Mackey.
I think Mark's on
Hanley.
this episode, right? Mark just came in. I think he's
Oh,
gonna be on
really?
this episode.
Oh, my God. All right. Fuck Mark, dude. He's doing fine. There's so many good comics out there, who are killing it. Roy Wood Jr. people know. I think they're starting to know now, but there's so many great comics out there. So, I think making your own thing, like, Comedy Central has been so good to me over the years, but their model was not working before. I mean, I felt silly going on shows being like, watch my special at 11 p.m. on Friday. Like, who is it? No one plans their shit that way. Even saying, if someone's like, I set my DVR, I'm like, what are you, 60? Who is it fucking DVR? So, but then Comedy Central has, to their credit, change what they're doing, and they're building up their YouTube, which maybe they make a production company or something as well. I mean, because the way they push it also really helped get this over 1 million. So I'm grateful to them too.
It got over fast, right? It was like
hasn't even been a month. I think we're gonna hit. I mean, I would hope a few million as long as it doesn't slow down.
How addicting is that shit though?
When you start to pop, crack.
My mom and my agent
Dopamine
are sending me. They're sending me the updates because I can't look because it stresses me out a little bit. I look every once in a while, but I don't.
I feel like you're good. Like even if it stopped right now forever, like you're over 1 million, that's a nice number. I feel you can check now and not worry.
That's good. And also, it's funny. I hear Netflix hides the numbers from people, so they don't know how well they do. So at least now I know how well I would do. It is nice to have an exact number.
If you were with Netflix, they would have put out a tweet like, "Sam
Did
Riddle's,
okay.
I got this, had 73 million views." They just make shit up.
They just nag their biggest stars. They're like Ali Wong. I guessed it okay. I don't know, but
I mean, they had one. I forget what movie it was. Where it was an obscene number.
Yeah.
It wasn't The Irishman. It was something before. It might have been Six Underground.
The Irishman
was objectively a bad movie, but a great movie.
Yeah, but it's Ryan Reynolds, right?
It's an awesome movie. It's just a bad movie.
Ridiculous.
The Irishman is so fucking long, dude. I mean, I enjoyed it just because it's Scorsese, but it's also like, could we get a fucking CGI young body?
Did you enjoy it or did you watch a movie?
That fucking movie gave my girlfriend a UTI. I might have been kidding. That's how long it was because we saw it in the theater. So she held in. I was like, "What are you doing?" She got a fucking UTI. That's cost me like weeks of sex. That movie.
It was
Fuck you, De Niro.
It was one of those movies that ended and you were just like, that was the thing I watched.
Yeah, I'm never gonna watch it again.
It didn't.
And now I
it
can't
didn't
fuck
hit
my
you
girlfriend.
like it didn't hit you like The Departed or Goodfellas or Casino. None of the. It didn't because even the last shot of Casino, you're like, oh my god. It wasn't.
What I last shot of The Departed, you like that too, but not for the good way.
in a bad way.
It was
what the
a-
fuck is a rat doing?
I was so stupid.
The rat was dumb.
It was so dumb.
It was like in the Joker when he's like in Joker when he ends with it's like, this is what happens when you get your mixed mental instability when like society doesn't care.
It's like, hit you over the head
like,
with the thing.
yeah, no, we got it, dude. You weren't being subtle the entire movie.
Hey, let's not trash the Joker. All right,
I liked it, but I just thought that line in particular was like, yeah, no, I knew what you were talking about. It was
yeah, dude. The Irishman and like what else? Netflix. I watch all the murder shows on Netflix. Did you see The Pharmacist?
No, I don't like them.
Really?
I know you talked about them in the special, and I
love those.
I don't care for them.
They make you feel bad.
I'm one of the few people on this planet who haven't got on to true crime.
Oh, it's the best. I think every
can't get enough.
you can't get enough.
I love it.
I think we all think men. I think every man thinks they're like a PI on some level, and we're not. We're all mostly pussies, I mean, like. I talk about this like in the special. Like I talk about this guy breaking a pint glass over my head in Vermont, which really happened. It happened like last year. I was in a fucking bar,
wild story.
and a guy just I didn't do anything. I think people just hear I have a deep voice and they're like, "This will count as like beating the shit out of someone." And I'm like,
6'2" with a deep voice. Let's fuck
but
him up.
I can't fight, so he just came over and just. And and I was addicted to talking to the victims advocate in Vermont and being like, how do we like solve this? She's like, no, we solved it. We got it. He's in custody. He was a therapist. The guy who hit me with a pint glass.
Therapist?
Isn't that crazy? He was a therapist, and he Yeah, he just was like having a bad divorce, and he went for a cop's gun after me. I didn't tell that in the special. He smashed a pint glass over my head. He went for he didn't count on his white privilege. That doesn't work if you're white. They don't shoot. He wanted to get shot.
Yeah,
because
Jesus
he was going through a
Christ.
divorce. He was hoping that the cop would just shoot him after that. But
No shit.
fucking Vermont, man.
What a weird place.
You get either hippies or you get that fucking cabin in the woods like Bernie Bro shit where they just go at you. Crazy people. But he's a therapist. He lost. He can't. They said he can't treat anyone for 5 years. I was like, yeah, how about just taking his
never?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
5
felony.
years? That's
Yeah.
absurd. That's a.
Could you imagine if that was
You
your
know what?
therapist?
I've changed my stance already. I'd like to go to him because like there's nothing you can say where he's not like I get it.
Yeah, like, he's not going to do you at all.
Like he's going to be with you every
forgive
step
you.
of the way. Like yeah,
So like, Doc, what should I do? I don't know. I smashed the guy in the head with a pint glass. It felt pretty good. Maybe give that a whirl. I don't know. That could you imagine if you were like, he shows up on Monday at your usual appointment. He's like, listen, can't see you anymore for 5 years. 'Cause I got to go to jail. I'm a felon. Like, okay, man.
Crazy. Vermont, man. It's
that
really
is my first therapist. Probably when I was like 17 or so, was one time talking about how he was thinking about moving. He was an older guy, and he was thinking about moving to Vermont with his wife. And he went to visit. I forget what town it was, and he went to visit it in order to kind of get a feel and meet the people and see what. Because he was still good. He wasn't going to retire. He just was going to move there. And he was like, "I met everyone. I'm staying in Rhode Island." Couldn't do it.
Oh my God, what a
Like,
horrible endorsement.
he's like everyone was too fucked up.
I had a therapist when I was like 18. I had some weird. At the time, I was dating a girl. I was going to school in New Orleans, and it was right after Katrina. So it was like the where he treated me. The hospital looked like at a Shutter Island. It was abandoned. It was scary. And so I was dating a girl long distance who was. Both their parents were psychiatrists, so every time I'd have dinner with them, they'd just be like analyzing me, and like it was brutal. It felt like I was getting roasted, And I remember I hadn't met my biological father yet, so every argument with her would just be like, "Who are you really yelling at?" And I'd be like, "Oh, come on, that's such a hack
It's a
maneuver."
layup. Yeah.
And also I'm fucking yelling at you, not him.
This has nothing to do with you being an asshole.
But then my mom encouraged me to see a therapist in New Orleans. So I'm in this abandoned hospital. It's like me and him in this giant hospital. And he was such an asshole, but he was funny. I mean, he was like a funny asshole. Like, I remember I told him about the biological dad stuff, and he goes, "You and mommy against the world." And I'm like, Jesus, dude, where did you get your fucking license?
Are
You and
you
mommy.
sure he was a therapist?
Yeah, that
like
dude-
just meet me in this abandoned warehouse.
That was a dude who just grabbed a fucking diploma off a wall, and everyone else was looting TVs. He's like, "I'm gonna get a medical license."
Big time, man.
That's right. Holy shit. But he was actually like he would email me all the time, and like he would like find like little snippets of like my stand up and like be like, he like loved comedy, so he was happy, but I mean he loved it a little too much, I think. He really
Have you heard? A couple people have been in here and said that there's a therapist in New York.
I went to him for a while.
Like, he does like the comic.
How many times
therapist,
can you
right?
go though and fucking see Mike Vecchione in the waiting room where you're like, all right, dude, I don't like comic friends eavesdropping. I brought a girl I dated there once. I brought my mom. I don't want to walk out with my mom and see fucking Giannis Papas in the fucking green room. Like, I love these guys, but there are times you don't want to see them. So
The therapy waiting room is one of the worst places in the world because it's almost like being in a hospital waiting room where you're like, "What do you have?"
Yeah,
Exactly.
Only like it's mental
internal,
instability
yeah.
rather than like a cough.
I remember my friend Phil Hanley was in the waiting room before. He was in therapy before me. I'm in the waiting room, and I heard Alan laugh really hard at something he said, and it was the fucked up comic part of me is like, fuck, now I gotta like
Yeah,
bring
he's
it.
killing
I gotta
it.
like I gotta follow this shit. Like it's like there were so many comics.
Yo, this guy, he's just getting free comedy shows. He's not a therapist. He's just in it for the jokes.
He's the real life Dr. Katz. Remember that show? It was
Yeah.
a great show. It introduced me to every comic, and then you're like, holy shit. And then you start seeing like younger comics there, and you're like, who recommended him? It's like The Cellar. You're like, how did he get past at Allen?
You mentioned the Joker. How did that come about?
Dude, my agent at the time, DC Wade, is a great guy. He just was submitting comics to Todd Phillips. And then he said, Todd loves you. So I was like, all right. That thing in your head, you're like, all right, dude, Todd Phillips likes me. You're like, whatever. I thought he was fucking with me. And then one day Todd Phillips just called me on the phone. And I was like, is this like a prank? And then he's just like, oh man, I really like your comedy because you're not like, he's like, you're not like one of those like pussies who's like, I think he just meant I wasn't like a UCB kind of like, Like, and that's when I was molested, and I'm in like a turtleneck and like a TED Talk thing, you know. Although, you know, I think he just didn't like. I don't know. So he was really encouraging, and he said, "I want you in the movie," and I was just like, "What?" So I didn't even tell anyone I was in the movie because I was like, "Well, surely they're gonna cut my scene. Why would they keep a stand-up just telling jokes?" You know. So then we shot at Dangerfields on 60th Street, and he was just like, "Yeah, do jokes, just do it." And there's a real crowd. So I was like, "All right, how many jokes?" I did. It was like you barely see me in the movie. You hear the whole joke, but he also says. Chris Redd goes on after me and he goes, "One more time for Sam Morril," and he kept that in the movie for some reason. There's no reason for it's just Todd being it's just Todd being cool. It's the only reason to keep it in there. So then they follow Joaquin Phoenix walking into the room. So I was like, all right. And then I had to just keep telling jokes, but I didn't want to tell the same joke because I didn't want them to fake laugh. You know, I'm more of a comic than an actor, you know? So
did you have like one in mind? You were like, all right, this is like my best joke? Or
I did like 20 jokes. We kept taking it. It was like a long, maybe more, you know, I did so many jokes. I wrote out, he said, just make sure it would work in like the 80s because the movie takes place in the 80s. So, you know, you cut iPhone jokes and stuff like that. But yeah, it was like Joaquin following me on stage, and Chris Redd is the host from SNL. So Chris was fucking, you know, he's a great dude and he's like so fun to spend the whole day with, but he's just getting so mad at me, because he's like, you get to show off and do bits. My only line is one more time for Sam Morril. So people are coming on stage like Todd Phillips, like, you're killing it, man. You're fucking killing it. And there's like at one point where Joaquin Phoenix comes out and he's like, man, I really love your jokes. And Todd is like, he writes all day. Like the way you act, he writes. Like he's and I just see Chris Redd like, you fucking dick. You fucking so it's such a nice moment. You know, Joaquin Phoenix was so friendly, and I've heard stories like about, so I didn't say shit to him. I was like, oh, I bet he's like one of those method actors, and he's like, no, he's just hanging out.
Normal guy?
Really?
Cool.
Yeah, he didn't mail you like dildos or whatever. Like, that's what Jared Leto did. Jared Leto did on,
and he's doing it to like. I heard that Jared Leto was doing it to like Viola Davis. She's like, no, I'm like a real actor.
Yeah, I don't play this shit, man.
Here's a pig's head.
Yeah, I don't like.
I'll just pretend for a little bit.
I don't like the actors where it's like, no, just fucking act. Yeah, it's your job.
Right. I actually think less of you if you need to like go like for months to like get into characters. Like, shouldn't you be able to just cry, be funny,
story,
be dramatic? That's your acting.
I forgot what movie it was. But there's a movie where Marlon Brando plays a war veteran who's paralyzed, and he's just in a hospital. And they said he actually stayed in the hospital for like 30 days to prepare for the role, so he could be really cranky. And it's like, how about giving that bed to someone who needs it in the fucking hospital? Like, they're like, sorry, we don't have any rooms available. Marlon Brando,
busy,
he's prepping. So.
I talk about all the time where Daniel Day-Lewis did that, where like he just went and became like a carpenter for like 7 years.
How about his family? He's like kids.
He told his kids that he's a carpenter. Like, it's like, no, dude, like your kids are rich. Like, buy them nice things and fucking don't be like, yeah, we make minimum wage.
Stop making a birdhouse in the garage.
Dad's got to go build a fucking garage. Like,
you listen to your father, Abraham Lincoln. He's. Yeah, he really. I mean, yeah, I love Daniel Day-Lewis, but there's also that part. There's also that party where you're like, yeah, you're good enough to just do this.
Right, on command. That's
Anthony Hopkins said, he was like, I hate method actors. I act and I go home and I live my life.
And also you can probably, like, I get if you're doing like an accent and you want to stay in that accent for like the shoot, you know, because maybe it's confusing or something. But like if you can be a human in that accent.
Yeah. You never hear like Tom Hanks didn't go into method acting to be fucking Mr. Rogers. It's only for like assholes. It's like,
that's hilarious.
Right? Like, it's only fucking assholes where it's like, yeah, no, like I mailed Viola Davis a dildo.
It's also never a shitty movie. It's never like Rob Schneider had to become a European gigolo. It's only like Phantom Thread or Lincoln. It's never.
This is very true.
I feel like it was a big year with comics. You had Sebastian and Jim Norton in The Irishman.
Oh my God! Yeah, how cool
Sebastian
is that?
had like a real like role. I mean, Jim was kind of doing what you did. Like he
did. Yeah, he was Rickles.
He was playing Don Rickles.
But yeah,
Sebastian had like that was the mob boss.
That was
Chicago,
badass.
Right?
Yeah, I thought. I mean, yeah, so cool. Yeah. I mean, to be in a Scorsese movie, man, how crazy is that? I mean, that's. I
They're all
remember
Italians, but whatever.
That's true. Sebastian, yeah, it's fuck. We need like a hip Jewish director. You know, get me. All we got is Woody Allen, and like that's
I don't want that one, man.
You can't. Yeah, what do you
If
do?
Woody Allen came to you right now and said, like, "Will you be in my movie?" You doing it?
I would just get backlash. I don't fucking
definitely.
know. It's tough. Woody Allen as like a New York Jew is like everything to me, dude. I
Right.
love Woody Allen. I mean, and I love all of his movies. I love Purple Rose of Cairo. I love Annie Hall. I love everything. But you know, I just said the most obvious one. I loved all of his catalog.
Annie Hall.
I loved all of Coppola's films. The Godfather. But I loved all of his stuff. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough when I know when
It's tough when you fuck your daughter. It's tough. It doesn't really work.
apparently he's got a book coming out. Woody Allen,
boy.
where he's like, here's my side. You're like, oh, you know what's tough? He's such a good writer that you're like, you can't even read it.
Right,
You
right.
can't
He'll
even
convince
hear
you.
it.
He'll trick me into like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I get
But
it.
I don't know who's like the hip. We need like a hip Jew director to put me in something. I don't know.
There's no Jews in Hollywood. I don't know what we're
Spielberg.
gonna do.
Well, Spielberg. We need like another Munich type movie. Because I'll tell you, I watch Hunters, man. It's the worst piece of dog shit I've ever seen
Really?
on Amazon.
See, I agree and disagree.
I thought it was entertaining.
I
Really?
liked the
Yes.
first 4 episodes, and I thought it died off fast.
The twist at the end. There's 2 twists that are both fucking.
No, I like the
utterly-
second one.
Yeah, the first one was
I
terrible.
couldn't make it 20 minutes with that. They're like, does every character? They're like, I get that like Jews have to die to build up the revenge plot, but like every character was like, I was like, does it have to be like Fiddlers on the Roof level, like fucking Jewish stereotypes?
Yeah, Jews take a lot of losses in that one.
They fucking kill a woman not in the Holocaust in a shower, and I was like, come on, dude, this is fucking.
Well, hang on. You can get far enough.
No,
She's a Nazi.
That was payback.
she was a Nazi.
She's a
Yeah.
Nazi.
Okay.
So they're going
yeah.
around killing people the way the Nazis killed.
Damn,
Jews.
you're hurting my argument. Yeah. Look.
It got crushed.
The writing
by, like,
was
critics.
stupid
She also
as
didn't
fuck.
have
It
as
was-
hairy a vagina as I thought she would.
Oh, but also,
Like, I was looking very closely.
this
She
is
was
Barstool
so
Review
fucking
Part
gross.
2.
I was like, fat older woman, I bet she's going to have a hairy
This
pussy.
fucking whore.
She was a.
No, dude.
Well played, Sam. Well played.
Dude, I hated the writing. I hate that they had, like, just in the beginning where of course his grandma or whoever dies, she's like, there are 2 ways to go about it. You can be like a bad kid or a good kid. I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm out of here. I'm done with this superhero origin bullshit.
Yeah. It was very superhero-esque where, like, again, I don't know how far you got, where he's like solving things, and it's like he didn't even do any work in his head. They just lit
appeared.
up.
Yeah.
Also, Pacino as an old Jew is great. It's just like when you become an old Italian, you just become like weak enough to play a Jew, which is great. You kind of do have to respect that.
I did get a kick in The Irishman out of all, like Pacino trying to be an Irish guy and De Niro like trashing Italians, calling them wops and shit. I'm like, this just doesn't work, guys.
Yeah.
You can't be that Italian your
Oh,
whole
yeah.
life and then flip the switch. Yeah, the script.
Also, Scorsese did not get the memo on like updating. Like, you can't say cocksucker every word. This cocksucker, like Jesus. I know they're bad people, and I know it's the 50s, but you're like, fuck. Although it is weird when they like update it with like, oh, this is how we have to talk now. And you're like, when does this take place again?
Say the N-word. I know you did. Yeah.
They really no shortage of Jewish stereotypes in Scorsese movies either. Where he's like, this fucking like who's gonna be the Jew, and they're like fucking any Jew. Same with The Sopranos. I was talking to Gary Goldman about this. Like there's no good Jews in The Sopranos. They're like, we got a Jew. Oh, who is he? Oh, he ripped off R&B groups in the 50s. That's your only Jewish character. There was one good Jewish character in the entire Sopranos, and it was the therapist who told her he wouldn't take her money. You know, because it's blood money.
You're talking to people who've never seen The Sopranos.
You've never seen The Sopranos?
No.
And you've seen the fucking Hunters on Amazon? The Sopranos is the best show of all time.
I've seen some of it. I haven't
I
seen
just don't
all
like
of it.
Italians. So.
Oh, man, then you won't like it. It's the best show of all time.
It's what I've seen, I've liked, but yeah, like I think there's like a weird thing with just the way the world works now, where it's like something new is better. I guess it's probably always been that way, but like new is better. Like I don't want to go back and watch an old show. Like The Hunters is out, like you said. I don't know what it is, but I've never seen The Wire either.
When something gets too
Wire's
old
great.
for me, I like.
But
No,
it's
no
that
one else is
good.
watching it with me, and there's a lot.
There is
it's
that-
daunting that I gotta watch like 7 seasons of it.
Yeah, I actually.
And I really don't like Italian, so I mean, that's the main problem here. If it was like The Departed, I'd be in.
I started Cheers on Netflix.
That's a great show.
And then I looked at the episode list, and I was like, oh, 11 seasons, 20 episodes per season.
That's a
So
demand.
good though.
And then I shit out. I got like 2 seasons in.
Gaffigan used to have a great joke about how, when you see an old movie and no one will talk about it with you. He goes, "I want to talk about Heat now."
It is. You don't have that shared like the communal experience where. That's why I hate. I don't hate streaming, but like I hate the binge things. I watch it all in a night and then I'm like,
it's over. Yeah.
Well, now it's over. I like the fucking week to week where we talk about it, argue about it, and shit like that. And
But I feel like that's dead anyway because there's no. It's not like it's on at Sunday and everyone talks about it on Monday anymore. It's just you watch it at your own pace now. So
Thrones was the last one. Thrones was.
I never watched that.
Yeah, don't bother.
Every person was like, "Fuck this show," and then next sentence was, "You don't watch it?" And I was like,
no,
you're not a great sales rep." Every week, this fucking show sucks. Every fucking week on Twitter, this show's the worst piece of shit I've ever seen.
The first 7 were great.
Really?
Yeah, terrible. The ending was so fucking bad, man. As bad as it gets.
Yeah,
Worse than The Hunters.
I've been rewatching Mad Men. Mad Men is fucking great.
What comedies do you like? What do you think is like the funniest show ever?
I love It's Always Sunny in
My
Philadelphia.
God, we just had Rob McElhenney in here. He was.
All you could ever want.
I was on Conan with him last week and I didn't get to meet him. I was bummed.
no shit.
He was walking out right as I was going on stage and I almost fucked up my intro. Be like, Rob, Mac. I love Mac.
He's on
Curb, obviously.
Yeah. This episode this week where
I'm like
Carl
2
killed-
behind.
Oh, all right. Well, this guy kills himself because and Larry thinks it's because of the Jets. It's
Oh
so
wow!
fucking
Oh, I
funny.
gotta. I mean, I
It's
love that
so-
show.
He goes, and you can relate to this. He's like, so this guy, he's like, did you hear the news? Carl killed himself. And he's like, it's because of the Jets and a little bit of the Knicks.
Oh, the
It's
Knicks.
like, I know you feel that.
Did you see
man.
the hoax last night that they said that Spike Lee?
Yeah,
it wasn't
it
real.
just
Thank
wasn't
God.
him? Like,
No,
it
no.
was
I
just
think he
someone
just
else
went
that
in
they-
the wrong entrance or
Yeah.
something.
What was it?
They
The
thought-
rumor was that they weren't letting Spike Lee like into the garden. There was like a hubbub down in
Really?
the tunnel, and there was someone being like denied entry. And the rumor was that it was Spike
I was
Lee.
trying to
which
explain it to my
wasn't.
girlfriend, and she just did not give a shit. I was like, "This is like if Jack Nicholson got thrown out of the Staples Center." And she's like, "Yeah, I don't
get that either.
understand. I don't. No analogies were working, but Knicks they beat the fucking Rockets last night.
man.
That's all that matters.
That was surprising.
Yeah, dude.
You're still just ride or die with them.
Yeah.
Watching every night.
I don't watch every night just because of shows, but
Yeah.
I watch at least I keep up and I'll watch the highlights and I'm rooting hard for RJ Barrett and all those young guys.
Yeah.
and Mitchell Robinson.
It's just not gonna work though.
The Knicks, there's so much
never
pain.
does.
I think Freezing Cold Takes retweeted the other day a tweet from like 2016 for Bleacher Report, and it was exactly what happened with like the Zion and like all the photoshops. It was a Photoshop of Derrick Rose, Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant, and KP.
All in
All
the
in Knicks
uniform.
uniforms. And it's like, this could be coming to New York.
None of them. Fucking none.
Every
none.
year. I'm that delusional that I was like, LeBron's coming. Like when he did the decision, I was like hurt that he went to Miami and like I had no right to be hurt. We just expect people
We
to come
sold
to New York.
shirts here that had like the Obama color scheme and said hope on the bottom. Like, yeah, he's coming to New York. Like he's the
What a
never
different
even
time.
considered considering it. Like he never once said, "I'm going to come play for Jim fucking Dolan."
Now it's just Trump's picture and it says nope. That's orange and blue. Yeah, man. No, I think at least they're building the right way and they have young guys. So at least like they have draft picks and they're young. So I at least
A lot of draft picks.
a lot of draft picks. I believe, man. Although I hated that they got rid of Marcus Morris. He was my favorite on the team.
Well, he's the
He'll come back.
You got to let him go to like a
He'll
team
come
that
back.
really can like
They're
he
gonna
can
win
go.
the championship in the Clippers, and I did an Instagram story like once he wins a championship, like he'll come back to the Knicks, and he wrote back. He wrote,
Oh, yeah?
he wrote no doubt. So I was like, so I'm fucking tampering to get him back. I'm getting Marcus Morris back.
So what's next, man? You shooting a new special now?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I mean, I gotta write it, but I'm.
Do you feel like that was your best ever?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's my best. I think
Is that like tough for you to be like, all right, I gotta like do this again now? Like the bar is very fucking
Of course,
high.
yeah. It's painful. I was in West Palm Beach over the weekend doing shows, and it was tough, because I'm not allowing myself to do old stuff.
Right.
So the first show I did a couple jokes from the special at the end. I did just to wrap it up. But the late show I was like, don't fucking let yourself cheat. Like just do all new stuff. And yeah, it's tough because it's just not as good yet. So it's tough, especially when the crowd's not on fire. They were good, but like, I'm gonna be on the road every week basically just to be like, let's get a new hour. So I want one by the end of the year, but that's my goal. But if I don't reach it, I won't do anything. We'll see. I want a new hour. That's better.
Well, I mean,
the bar's high.
Yeah, the bar is super high. If you can do that, I think you're the funniest goddamn comic on the planet.
Thank you, man.
I Got This is a title based on the idea of just like you can do it yourself.
Well, also there's that abortion joke
Oh,
where I say, I got this. But sure, what you said, that sounds better. It's a double meaning for sure, where it's like, you're at a bar, you say, I got this. It's not, so it's like, it's free. It was a free special, and also
Also the abortion joke.
and also whenever you tell your reps or your friends, I'm self-producing it, they go, you got this. Like, they don't mean it, but they're being nice. So I said, all right, I got this.
But you did, dude. You knocked it out of the park. It's very funny. The views are telling the truth. Like, the proof is in the pudding. So everybody go watch it. And you on the road?
Yeah, I'm in Royal Oak, Michigan, Thursday through Saturday, a great club, Comedy Castle. I'm at Gotham, 19th through the 21st in New York City, and then I'm at the Charlotte Comedy Zone, the 26th through the 28th, and I'm on the road every week, so it's sammorril.com/gigs.
Check it out, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thanks, dude.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.